We already know what Terry can do. What can you tell other people about the other receivers that could get them off the ledge just a little bit?
Well, one of the things, we were just talking about the wideouts the other day, and me, Logan, and Fred, and I was trying to tell them, I say, fans tell me all the time that, well, we don't have enough tall guys as receivers, or we don't have that marquee name guy to go along with Terry as a receiver. And the first thing I said, I wanted to address the issue about the tall stuff, but I'm like, what necessarily tells you that a guy being tall is going to make him play, better, or a guy being tall is going to make us better as a core? You know what I'm saying? So I think, when you have playmakers, you're not worried about how tall it is. Yes, we hear wide receiver and we thinking all these wide receivers got to be godly, have to be 6 feet or better, but that's not how we all made. And from far as I know, being a little guy, as long as you're going out there making the plays, doing your assignments, that's all needs to be done for you to produce in that area. And so get that out your head first and foremost. You see a guy like Terry McLaurin, all he needs is a guy that's going to compliment him, whether you tall or not. And we have a couple of guys now. We picked up a guy, from the Texans, Brown, who has a little height on him, and then we have McCaffrey, who has a little height on him. And then also bringing Pringle in this year, he have a little height on him. But I don't like to get caught up in all that. And then when you go into just talking about the names, man, it's all about making plays. It's all about doing what you're supposed to do at that position. I take a little bit of, something that I heard from when we were just talking about the whole Dawson situation. Like, you're looking at a player that I have a lot of, love for. I think he's a tremendous kid. He's going to have his day where he can really show that he can play this game, because we saw him as a rookie have a nice year. But I think when you asking for a particular guy or situation to be the way that you want it to be, if it doesn't fit you, then you have to play the guys that's producing the way you want them to play. And I think that's the situation that panned out with Dawson. So, hey, man, you can't worry about what we don't have. You got to worry about what we have. And I think when you have a quarterback like Jaden, and when you have the guys that's there that made the team, let them go out there and show you what they're made of.
Yeah. I look at it, Tanner, when people talk about you, they talk about Gary Clark. I don't hear nobody talking about how tall y'all were.
Yeah.
All they talk about is y'all made plays. And I think what has happened is, in this day and age, somebody hear one GM or one coach say something. A lot of us in the media, we start repeating what that person said, and then all the fans just repeat it as if they really know what they're talking about. And basically what they're doing is repeating what somebody just stated. If a guy is running past you, Tyreek Hill is not tall, right?
At all.
He had 1,799 yards last year. I don't think anybody said they need to go get a guy that's 6'2". You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So just because other guys are big, everybody out there that's tall, they're not A.J. Brown. They're not DK Metcalf. But I think ultimately you just need, like you said, you need playmakers. And for me, the guys they have they haven't jumped over that hump yet. But a lot of these guys have experience and have had some success. Crowder has been consistent throughout. Zacchaeus has been consistent everywhere he goes. Pringle been on the Super Bowl team. Luke comes from great pedigree, and he has to learn this game, and I think he has to learn it at another position compared to what he was before. D. Army Brown is now getting his opportunity. And Noah Brown last year proved when he gets the opportunity, he can ball out. Now he got to stay healthy. So, I just think that this receiving core is better than what people give them credit for. And everybody just think that I just had this guy called in and was talking about letting KJ Henry go, and then telling me about what's the cornerback, Gilmore. I'm like, look, dude, everybody that we let go is not gonna go somewhere and be great, and everybody that somebody else let go can't come here and be great. Sometimes you just got to go with what you go with.
My thing is too, when you look at this situation that we're in, and I think a lot of people look at it from the standpoint of what other teams have.
Yeah.
And, as far as I recall, back when I was playing and we was playing at a high level offensively, we brought in other receivers. We brought in a B. Lloyd. We brought in a Randall L. But regardless, the guys that moved that offense up and down the field was Portis, Cooley, and myself. Those was the three names. And when you look at this offense here, you got a Zach Ertz, You have a Terry McLaurin. You have a dynamic young quarterback that we don't know what he's going to do, but we know sooner or later when he gets out there, he's going to be special. And then you have those guys in the backfield, B-Rob, and you have Eckler. So you have the guys, and then you have the complementary guys on the outside, as well to go along with Terry. So just gotta let guys go out there and produce. And I feel, I hate get caught up in the name game because a lot of these guys won't be who they are if they didn't get the opportunity. It's all about opportunity. And I'm sure, like De'Ami Brown, man, I'm thrilled to see him, been in the situation he is right now because we know how tough it is to make a team when you get those coaching changes, and we know how his journey been so far. We've been waiting for him to, get over that hump or whatever. And this preseason alone has been the first time I've seen things slow down tremendously for him. So I'm loving the fact that they have the guys that they have. Now let us go out there and watch these guys, perform.
Taylor, one thing I've said, like I hear people always tell me, oh man, the guy's in the contract year, he played better. I'm like, contract year is something that people have made up. What ultimately it is normally a guy in the contract year has played 3 years or 4 years, depending on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, some guys sign a 4-year deal, some guys sign a 5-year deal. So now when you coming into your contract year, you better understand the game. You better understand what your routine is. And you now are not worried about anything anymore because you're settled down. That's why you play better. It's not because it's your contract year. It's because you're more experienced at the game that you're playing now.
Yep. But tell the truth though, you know that those contract years also, it's a lot of pressure, and people fail to realize that you're playing for your livelihood. And something I learned from as a little young buck, pressure either gonna make diamonds or bust pipes. So if you go out there with that pressure and produce, then we know what you become. And then if you don't, then we also know what happened to you. So I mean, you can't worry necessarily what's going on when it's going on. I love talking to folks because me and Gary Clark and Fred had this talk last night. I love to hear the arguments that some of the fans bring us, but I'm like, I hate that. Look, if you're excited about this game, if you're excited about your team, let your team go out there and show you what they're made of. You know what I mean? Let's not get caught up into the games that's going to be won. Let's not get up on how good they're going to be. Trust me, be confident in what you have and let them show you who they are. Every week they're going to show you something new. And right now we don't know what this team's going to be because they're a new team. You got 33 plus something new guys on this team. And we also know the staff is new. So you got to let these guys go out there each week and show you what they're made of. But I think, man, it's going to be an exciting year, man. I'm just looking forward to it.
Dan, you get a chance to be over there with the team and you see the coaching that they're getting and you've been around the coaching staff. And I just think that they're different. This crew here, they're expecting stuff from their players, but they're giving them a lot too. They give them a lot to work with, and they're expecting a lot of good things. I was asking people earlier, what are their expectations for the season? I didn't ask for no record or nothing like that. Just what are you expecting to see from this team? Whether it's better approach, better passing game, running game, the defensive backs, whatever. What you expect from this team this year based off of what you've seen thus far?
You know what? The first thing stands out to me, man, just watching how things are being operated around the building. I can honestly see an energy that I haven't saw in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw in the preseason, I'm not sure if it's something that jumped out to you, but I was just mentioning this to Jonathan Allen. I say, bro, I blinked my eye, and it was 10 guys on one tackle.
Mm-hmm.
10 guys. The only reason why the 11th guy wasn't there because he was taken downfield by the wide receiver. And so immediately that showed me something that we have missed here a long time. Last time I saw guys running to the ball like that was, when I was playing here, and we had the defensive coordinator. I forgot his name. We were talking about him. Greg. There you go.
Greg Williams, the animal train.
Yeah, Greg Williams. Greg Williams to have that drill that made those guys run to the ball and made sure they were showing up. And that's what you want. And I think that's what these guys bring in, man. The first time Joe Witt sat in those seats and we had that sit down with him, he was like, look, bro, we're gonna play with an intensity and a tenacity that if you can't play that way, then you won't be here. And, that's one of the things that Fred talked about. When you have, the situations that we've seen just recently, a lot of these guys that we wish was around here, when you have a good team, sometimes you cut good players because that's the way your team is being built. So I'm looking for these guys to bring that kind of energy that from day one, the defensive coordinator came into the door and said he's going to bring. And then offensively, they're going to have to match it because those guys going against each other every day out there in practice. So they're going to be more of a complete team, I think. That's what I don't want to get too far out there talking about much. I think when we look back at those last 4 years and we was waiting for Ron to do something, they was just playing, man. They was trying to scrap and scrape and do what they could, but I don't think that unit was a team. And I think something that Jonathan Allen told us yesterday, we had on the Players Club, and he said, Tanner, I really feel like we have a team. I've really been motivated this year to go out here to practice, just seeing the guys fly around and the way we are learning. And that, to me, is all I needed to hear.
See, and like for me, I watched the little bag drill they do before practice, right before practice kicks off. And I've had people ask me this question, my man, what if they're sitting and like they've lost 3 or 4 in a row, they gonna keep doing it? I say, dude, you don't understand. That little thing right there is something that ignites their practice. Okay?
Yeah.
It's something where we all doing it together to get the emotions up. When I played, I always felt I was a spark plug. Guys knew I'm gonna come out lively in practice. They like, man, BMitch, how you always have this much damn energy? I just felt it was something to start people up. Well, they do it as a whole team, and they're gonna do it. You know why they're gonna keep doing it? Because the coach told them from the beginning. This is what we expect. They're not letting them, y'all do it till we win or lose. No, you're gonna do it every day because this is going to get your juices flowing. And if they keep doing that, I'm gonna like it.
One thing about a routine, win, lose, or draw, man, you got to stay true, and that's what it is. And that's what they're going to be. They're going to stay true to what they know. And I think that's the reason why, Dan Quinn is one of those likable coaches, man, because that's the way that's his method to his madness, man. He's going to stay true to what he knows. And at the end of the day, those guys got to go out there and show up and play some good football.
See, that's another thing that I think helps this team out. Dan Quinn, the way he is, he's exactly the way they see him on TV in his press conferences. He's that same person behind closed doors. He's that same person talking to us. After we get off, we had him on the radio yesterday. Once we're off the radio, he doesn't change. He's the same dude. And I think when players can see the consistency in their coach, he's a real dude, they're going to respond to him a lot differently than the guy that every situation he becomes somebody else.
I wish I could be playing for him right now. I tell you, I like his whole mantra, man. I just like everything about him, man. Just playing against. I remember those years playing against him, man. I just saw how those teams used to come in and attack what we was doing. So just watching, those Cowboy defenses for the last few years and just knowing what he brought to the table, man, I'm loving what he's bringing over here to us, man. I'm looking forward to seeing those guys going out there and produce.
All right, well, Tanner, I'm looking forward to traveling with you this year, man. Me and Santana will be doing a pre- and the post-game show. Him and Brian Colbert Jr. will be doing a pregame on the road and at home, pre- and post-game. So get ready for Tampa next week, brother.
You already know. We have a blast. Can't wait, buddy.
All right, man. Take care, man. Appreciate you, Tanner.